I'm Emma and this is my partner Alex. In the last video, our Italy series came to an abrupt end when the UK announced that all those arriving in the UK from Italy after 4 AM on Sunday the 18th of October would have to quarantine for 2 weeks, aka 2 weeks of no filming. So we rushed home, driving from Pompeii to Weston-super-Mare in under 48 hours in order to make it back before the deadline. We made it back over the border in time, but as it turns out, it was a huge mistake.
Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home. You may only leave home for specific reasons.
What a monumental mistake that was. The rule is you should never ever leave Italy. And don't act like you're so innocent in all this. Why weren't you warning us not to leave?
But in all seriousness, we did have to actually leave because we had an MOT for our car booked at the end of the month, which we didn't explain very well in the videos, but essentially, if we'd have missed that, then our car wouldn't have been legal to drive anyway. So we didn't have much choice. Plus, I have a doctor's appointment. We're filming this in real time, so I have a doctor's appointment on Monday, which is tomorrow. And that is one of the main reasons that we couldn't afford to quarantine because A, I wouldn't have been able to go to the doctors, and B, we wouldn't have been able to take our car to get it MOT'd.
And that leads on to now. We have driven so far and so fast, straight into a lockdown.
And that's why we've sat you down in our local woods to have a chat.
Did you like how we did that? That felt so unnatural.
It felt weird.
Don't know if we'll do that again.
Don't think we pulled it off.
So, the lockdown starts on Thursday, and because of Emma's doctor appointment, we effectively have 2 full days to act.
Tuesday and Wednesday. What do we do? I feel like we've spent the last 48 hours just discussing constantly the possibilities. My brain hurts.
So as of yesterday, we had a full trip planned. We were so excited to be going to Scotland, around the Highlands. It was going to be beautiful,
North
magical.
Coast 500, we've been wanting to do that for such a long time.
A collaboration with Kinging It, that would have been great fun to see those guys.
Yeah. Boris has pissed all over our parade. Please, Boris, no.
That sounds like one of their initiations they do in Eton College.
God. So these are the options that we've been considering. Number 1 was Portugal. We were planning on going there after Scotland because we thought A, it would be nice to go somewhere that wasn't freezing cold or pissing it down with rain, and B, they also have some islands like the Azores that we've been wanting to go to for a really long time. We had a full series planned around the south of Portugal and the Azores, but unfortunately yesterday Portugal announced they're going into lockdown.
We seriously considered flying to the Azores. If we're going to get locked down, it's not a bad place to be, but the thought of being stuck on an island, potentially for quite some time, because, you know, history seems to be repeating itself with the second wave in Europe. It just didn't seem like it was the best idea, so we've ruled that one out.
Next on our list of potential places to go was going to be Poland. We have been dying to get back to Poland ever since our original series there a couple of years ago. We absolutely loved it, and we especially had our eye on some awesome nature spots. However, they're already in a kind of lockdown situation at the moment, plus their cases have shot up in the last number of weeks, so I think it's only a matter of time until things get really bad there. So we've had to cut that too.
The more we looked into it, the more it's the same story everywhere. We wanted to go to Greece and do a series there. The cases are rising. Same in Romania, France was already in a lockdown. It seems the same story everywhere. Places are either in lockdown, some form of lockdown, or it's pretty obvious that it's coming. We thought we'd finally figured it out. We found a place with relatively low cases in relation to a spike.
Yeah, that place was Turkey.
Turkey looks great. We love Turkey. One of our favourite places.
Last, yeah, and itinerary wouldn't be a problem because there was a bunch of stuff that we didn't have time to do last time. So we have a list down to the floor of things to do.
We found a flight from Heathrow,
yep,
leaving on Wednesday just in time to get us to Istanbul, where we would be able to rent a car and drive to go and see all the things we wanted to see.
And then we got thinking, okay, well, last time there was a big national lockdown, it wasn't so easy for people to get home.
We can afford to get stuck somewhere. We work on the internet. It's not the end of the world if we were to be stuck somewhere.
But It's Christmas soon. To be stuck in a country away from friends, away from family, in a country that doesn't even celebrate Christmas, doesn't sound so great.
Going away for Christmas sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
But being stuck somewhere for Christmas, away from your family and friends, just sounds very depressing.
It sucks. I mean, COVID Christmas is gonna suck anyway. At least we can be with the ones we love.
We could buy a return flight, but we're starting to think that there's no guarantee that we could get that flight back, because if internationally we're banned from travelling here in England, in theory the way that flights work is they go there and back. They're not just going to be sending a flight one way, they're probably going to cancel the service.
Yeah, or they'll be cancelling a lot of flights. That's what happened last time, and I'm sure that's what will happen again.
We're now at a bit of a crossroads, and we don't want to look back and think how stupid it was that we were trying to leave the country at all costs. Is it like people flying in March at the beginning of this year?
Yeah, and then they'd get stuck somewhere and be like, help, I can't get home, and everyone's like, mate, what were you doing
The whole
travelling?
world was locking down, and like, this is clearly not unique just to the UK. This is going on all over Europe at least.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there are, of course, options outside of Europe. We could go to Asia, we could go to South America, we were looking at going to Mexico, but that's not cheap.
So taking all these things into account, it kind of feels like the universe or the world is trying to funnel us into one choice.
Yeah.
And we're not sure if we want to make that choice.
Now, staying in the UK for the lockdown is definitely not the end of the world, and we're not complaining. It's not a bad place to be by any means. But we do have a travel channel, and for people who've been following us for a while, you probably noticed that we've been making sure we always are getting 2 videos out a week. We're trying to up our game a bit with regards to quality and value in the videos.
A lot of sleepless nights getting these videos out behind the scene. A hell of a lot of work's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly, a lot of behind the scenes work. And so we've been just sort of like climbing and climbing, trying to, you know, reach our first goal of 100,000, and it's really exciting. We've seen so much growth in the last couple of months. So it's kind of heartbreaking to just stop moving and stop traveling, because it's been working for us and we've been having so much fun. Yeah, I guess it's just kind of sad to stop.
I know, woe is me, tiny little violin. Leave it in the comments how whiny and entitled we sound. Now, I know that we're in the middle of a pandemic and travelling most certainly is not a right. We've been very privileged and lucky to travel over the last few months. And actually staying at home kind of excites us a little bit, because we've had some really big projects we've wanted to work on for some time that would require us to be in a place to work on them. And we've got lots of ideas, so I kind of feel that we could keep making content that we're proud of and to see us through this little period. And even more importantly, financially, it would help us a lot to be able to save up money to buy that dreaded van we've been talking about for some serious amount of time. Projection wise, I think we'll be able to buy a van by January, February, getting it done up and hopefully be ready to take that out in the spring. So that is another option, but we're still not exactly sure what we want to do. So I want to put to you in the comments, what would you do in this situation? Do we just sound like middle-class brats? Or do you understand our plight and you think, actually, get out, give us some entertaining travel content?
And if you do want us to get out and travel, tell us how! How do we do it?
The lockdown in England is apparently going to be just a month for now, but of course it could extend a bit longer.
Yeah, which we could handle, definitely. I mean, we have a bunch of ideas of stuff that we want to do. I think there'll be plenty of tipsy beans and live streams and things like that.
So I think we could still make some entertaining content that we're proud of, but I still could definitely be tempted to go somewhere. So what I do want to put it to you guys to try and convince us, if you think we should be going, like, how can we do this?
Yeah. If you can put together a convincing argument where to go and how we can do it in a sensible, responsible way.
That's something we're worried about.
Is
it does seem like it's inevitably coming, the second wave across the board, and is this going to be like trying to travel during the first lockdown? Like, it doesn't necessarily seem the most sensible thing.
Yeah, especially coming into winter, it doesn't look like it's going to be getting any better anytime soon.
But this is real time. We have until Wednesday evening to get out of this country if we want to. Please, try and convince us. Make it happen. Make the beans fly somewhere.
Well, that is it for today's video. Make sure you give us a like, not because there's much to like, but just to show some support
for your fellow beans. Leave in the comments the things that we asked, and make sure you subscribe.
Because, yeah, there's going to be loads of new people coming along on this video.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. And beans out of ideas!
Nice.